What if everything people say you need for a coding job is not true? In this video, I am going to break down a completely different path, one that actually works for developers who already know how to code but just cannot seem to get hired. I started as C programming tutor. I work with United Nations, NHS, CGI, and the list goes on. With over 15 years in IT, I have learned what gets you noticed and what wastes your time. By the end of this video, you will know how to turn your existing skills into a hiring advantage. If you are ready to try a new way, let's get started. Let me tell you a story. A long time ago, I was scared to change jobs. I was teaching computer programming, but I kept thinking, should I switch to coding? Is it easy? What if I'm not good enough? Does this sound like how you feel right now? Maybe you are asking the same questions about getting a job, but here's the truth. I did not love coding back then, but I loved fixing problems. And one idea changed my whole life. For me, the problem was not just learning to code, it was deeper. I asked myself, what is the purpose here and why I am making this change? Because without a strong why, it is easy to burn out or feel lost. And here is what helped me. First, I got very clear on why I wanted this. I wanted to solve real problems, work on meaningful projects, and have a career where I could keep learning and growing. Second, I accepted that I would need to start small, and that was okay with me. I did not need to be perfect from day one. Third, I stayed focused on long term growth. Instead of comparing myself to others, think of it like planting a tree. You are not looking for instant shades tomorrow. You are planting now so you can grow something strong and lasting over time. Once you find your deeper purpose, every learning steps feel more meaningful and you will stay motivated even when the job hunt feels tough. This purpose is what keeps you moving forward when others give up. When I started learning to code for real, I kept hearing the same advice. You must master algorithms. You must do this. You must do that. But every time I opened those problems, I felt drained. I thought, is this really what it takes to get hired? The real issue is that many developers waste months on the wrong focus. Hiring managers do not want to see how fast you can solve a binary tree problem. The truth is, employers do not care if you can reverse a binary tree or not. They care if you can build tools that solve their problem, their money problem, their stress problem. And here's exactly what I did instead. Learn skills that solve real problems like C Sharp, HTML, CSS, basic JavaScript, and build a project that mirror a company's need. I studied job posts for roles I wanted, then build projects that solve their specific problem. No fancy apps, just practical solution. Think of coding skills like a toolbox. You don't need 50 hammers. You just need the right screwdriver to fix the exact problems in front of you. Once you focus on the right practical skills, you become the kind of developer companies actually want to hire. And when I started applying for coding jobs, I watched my friends who spent months learning algorithms. I thought, what if there is a better way? So I took a risk. I skipped algorithms entirely. And guess what? It worked. Most developers think this is the only path to a job. But here's a secret. Employers love those who can solve their specific problems. And here's what I focused on. I built a project that mirrors the company's need and make sure the project had a clear explanation what I did, why I did, and how I worked. I avoided the mistakes of making 10 half-finished projects. Instead, I built one, finished one that I could proudly show. Once you focus on making your portfolio strong and clear, you stand out from other candidates, and this is where the real value shines. And guess what? When I walked into my first interview, the hiring manager asked, we have 10 candidates who can code. Why should I pick you? My answer has nothing to do with C Sharp, HTML, or APIs. It was about my time as a teacher, and that's why I got my first job. And here is what helped me to stand up. First, I showed how I work with others through my past experience as a teacher and how I can collaborate nicely. Second, I showed that I made a project and explained it clearly. Once you highlight your soft skills alongside your technical work, you show employers you are not just a coder. You are someone who can work with them, who can work with a team. Your past jobs, even flipping burgers or teaching math, gave you skills most developers lack. Highlight them, connect them with your job, and become the candidate they cannot afford to lose. Too many developers disqualify themselves before even applying. They think, I'm too old, I'm bad at maths, or have never remembered the syntax. But here is the truth. None of that matters to employers who need problem solvers. You do not need to be a math expert and you do not need to be memorize every single thing. Coding is like cooking. You don't need to know every spice in the world. You just need to follow the recipe. So remember, getting hired as a developer is not about solving endless coding puzzles. It is about proving you can solve real problems with the skills you already have. Start today. Pick one thing from this video, whether it's polishing your portfolio, updating your resume, or starting your first project. Just pick one thing from this video and take action. Small steps adds up faster than you think. If you want help with building a clear step-by-step plan to get hired as a developer, that is exactly what I have covered in this video. It connects directly to what you learned today. And thank you for watching, and do not forget, it is your skills and smart strategy that will get you hired.